Hello guys, I'm the GamerRaider10. Before we start this series, I want to mention something. Like with the vast majority of other multiplayer games, Team Fortress 2's player base has its fair share of slang and jargon that new players might be confused on if they're just joining the game. My thought process in my TF2 Let's Play is that everyone watching this series is fairly new to the game, or at least familiar with it. That said though, to save myself the editing headache of explaining what jargon I'm using, this video is a sort of a glossary style episode 0 type thing, meant to be a reference tool for each video in this series if someone watching is confused as to what the hell I'm saying / talking about / referring to. Now, this isn't going to be going over every TF2 term since A, that would take too long, and B, not every term may be used in my Let's Play. I'm going to try to keep it as general as possible and try to get most or all of the terms you might hear in regular play, alright? Alright. Tryhard. Now, this term here is sometimes used in a derogatory fashion, but the most neutral definition is essentially a player who tries their hardest to win / complete the objective, which isn't a bad thing on its own. Tryhards are sometimes raging assholes, yes, but other times they're really chill and just like playing the objective. Quick side note, myself, I fall into the latter category. Unless it's a capture the flag map, I usually try to complete the objective or help my team do it by getting kills in the background. I prefer this style to being friendly. Friendly. This usually refers to a player who prefers not to fight, or who simply refuses to out of frustration, boredom, or to propose a stalemate. Basically, a player who prefers being an adorable goofball mascot over trying to complete the objective. Some friendlies crouch while walking, do the conga, or some other partner taunt, give sandwiches to either team as a heavy, use funny voice commands, you know. Frag. A kill. Yep. That's it, just a kill. Sometimes people will join a capture the flag server for frags or fragging due to the lack of a time limit. CTF, PL, PLR, CP, PD, SD, COTH, etc. Capture the flag, payload race, control points, player destruction, special delivery, king of the hill, etc. These are all abbreviations for the various game modes in the game and are most commonly used for map names like CTF 2 Fort, PLR High Tower, PL Badwater, etc. MVM. Man vs. Machine, the PvE, player versus environment game mode in TF2. Basically, a team of 6 players take on entire hordes of robots for cool loot or for fun. Intelligence. The flag in Capture the Flag. Most of the time, it's a briefcase located deep in the enemy team's base. Cap. The completion of an objective, like capturing the intelligence, taking a control point, pushing the payload card over control points, etc. Trolldier. A Trolldier is a person playing soldier and basing their loadout and gameplay around the Market Gardener. I'll talk about this playstyle more in episode 2, but they usually run the rocket jumper, man treads, gunboats, etc. Basically, their loadout is mainly based around rocket jumping and maximizing the effectiveness of the Market Gardener. If you want to learn way more than you need to know about Trolldier, go check out Soundsmith's channel, link in the pinned comment below. Pocket. This refers to a medic who is more or less superglued to one player. Say the team's medic is only healing the team's heavy and no one else. That medic is a pocket medic. Uber. Short for Ubercharge, or another term for invuln. I'll go over this more in episode 7, but all you need to know right now is that Ubercharge makes you invincible for 8 seconds. Yeah, the medic can literally enable God mode for himself and his patient when he's at full charge. Gibbous Vision. A portmanteau of ghostly gibbous and pyrovision goggles. This usually refers to a newer player with, let's just say, below average awareness. Don't be discouraged if someone calls you this and it's your first time playing. We were all gibbous visions at some point. Tunnel vision. This is similar to gibbous vision, but it mainly refers to a condition where a player is putting the majority of their focus on a single point or area, typically a sniper but can be any class. Basically, they're oblivious to anything to their sides or behind them. This usually works to the detriment of the player since they're much easier to ambush with, say, a spy or a scout. DM. Deathmatch. From my experience, this usually refers to a duel between 2 players without the dueling minigame being activated, objective be damned. Usually, 2 DMing players will focus on killing each other, be it out of fun or spite. Subclass. A class within a class, if you will, that dramatically changes how someone plays a class. Exactly what makes a loadout a subclass is up for debate, but the best example is Demo Knight, where a Demo Man equips the Eyelander, one of his 3 shields, and the bootlegger / Alibaba's wee booties. Not sure if I'll go over Demo Night in episode 4 or in a bonus episode, we'll see. Stomp / roll. A game state where one team is severely struggling to make any progress toward the objective or even struggling to leave their spawn. Surfing. There are 2 definitions for this one, but the important one here is using a weapon's knockback to strafe away from a disadvantageous situation. For example, you're a medic and a soldier gets the drop on you, and you use the force of his rocket explosions to get away from him and live to heal another day. What you just did was surf his rocket. Trick stab. This refers to a spy using the map terrain to his advantage to get a backstab on an enemy chasing him. Examples are stair stabs, corner stabs, matador stabs, etc. Turtling. You'll usually find this on CTF maps, but it's when a team employs ruthlessly defensive tactics, most notably multiple engineers cramming all their sentries and dispensers in a room and just constantly repairing them. This is usually what causes stalemates on CTF maps, except for maybe Landfall. Telefrag. When a player is killed by an enemy teleporting into them while they're standing on a teleporter exit. Frankly, this is probably the most embarrassing way to die in this game.
I'm a victim of circumstance!
Air Blast. Pyro's Compression Blast. I'll be going over this more in episode 3. Auto Balance. When a server mechanic declares the teams to be unbalanced. Currently, this is most common in casual mode where a player at random on one team is selected to join the other team. Usually, this is very infuriating. Random Crit. Random Critical Hit. In casual mode, sometimes when firing / swinging a weapon, your attack will come out as a critical hit and deal 3 times as much damage as it normally would. Please, for the love of God, do not rely on this mechanic! If you want the whole spiel on why this mechanic is archaic and needs to be removed from the game, I will link Uncle Dane's video on random crits in the pinned comment. Random Bullet Spread / Bloom. This is the spread of a shotgun's pellets when they're fired. By default in casual, a shotgun's pellets will travel in a random pattern, causing shotgun damage to be more or less random at longer ranges. In competitive mode, or in community servers with Bloom turned off, bullets will travel in a fixed pattern similar to the panic attack. Mini Crit. A mechanic where an attack does 35% more damage than it normally would. You'll see this on players marked for death with Scout's Fan of War or Soldier's Escape Plan, or from the effects of Sniper's Jarate. Pub. Refers to a server in casual mode, with random bullet spread enabled, random crits enabled, wins/losses not being tracked, etc. Think public server. Pub Stomper. A really skilled player in a casual match killing every enemy player on site. Sometimes they're assholes, sometimes they're just chillin' silent. Pub Stompers typically run Soldier. Pub Push. A last stand in a way that an attacking team does to capture a control point in overtime, which happens when the timer at the top of the screen runs out. Cratering. Dying to fall damage. Crockett. Crit Rocket. Firing one of these is really satisfying, especially when it hits. Choke Point. A narrow area, like a doorway or hallway. A choke point restricts a player's movement and makes AoE, area of effect, attacks incredibly effective. Mid-fight. More or less, it's what happens when both teams meet at the front lines. The teams fight over the middle of the map, and the winning team of the mid-fight gets to move forward to try and capture the objective or push further into enemy territory. Juggling. Using the knockback on weapons, usually explosives or Pyro's Air Blast, to keep enemies suspended in the air. Main. The class a player picks most often in any given match. For example, I usually main Sniper or Demo Man. Meat Shot. Refers to when most or all of the pellets in a shotgun or scattergun connect with an enemy player. God, the catharsis of landing some good meat shots as a scout is something to behold. Meta. The best loadout or playstyle for competitive play as deemed by the competitive TF2 community. Pick. A specific target in a fight, most commonly a medic or engineer. Think picking off. Pick classes like Scout, Sniper, and Spy specialize in this due to the nature of their classes and being able to choose their fights.